still being a part of the team and a part of this community, like I said. But I don't know. I take seriously sort of that role of being an ambassador for all the teams that I played for, but living here in Denver, maybe even more so, and do some stuff with the Broncos sponsors and some of their suite holders. So I still feel an attachment and really have enjoyed getting to know the Penner Walton family as well. So, but as far as running the team, I don't think that's on my radar anyway.
Part of that ambassadorship is getting.
So, Cam, how do you feel? Do you would you ever want to get
Hell yeah.
ownership?
Hell yeah. Hell motherfucking yeah.
So why so though? And then if you had, I wouldn't say even pick a franchise, but
It's evident. Like, bro, Auburn, like I feel like I can't go back enough to Auburn. And they always, bro, come back. And it's always love, you feel me? Anything, that's one thing I will say about Auburn University. It has been nothing but love for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
I just feel the love from the team, the respective coaches. No matter, like I done seen multiple coaches changes in the last couple of years, and every coach has just always like, bro, we want you back. We got to get you back. We want you to talk to the team. And the more that people start understanding who I am, I don't really like all that attention. Like my aura alone just presents this realm of like, oh, Cam, this, but I'm really not like that.
Yeah.
And that's one place that I know for sure I could easily be an ambassador for that, and even for Carolina Panthers. And it's a lot of misunderstanding there, from ownership to management to a lot of different things. And I feel like, why am I still having to explain who I am? You know what I'm saying?
To the team, yeah.
To the team.
And to
like,
the city.
No, it's not to the city.
But just to the team.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, you can't mention the Carolina Panthers and without mentioning Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Like, and when you say that, like, it's like, oh, look at him.
Yeah.
But bro, you can't say Indianapolis Colts
Without mentioning Peyton
Peyton
Manning.
Manning or Tom Brady with the Patriots.
Yeah.
Like, these are obvious idioms that you just say, like,
They're pillars of that
like,
organization.
come on. Like, they push the program forward.
So would you want to go back and be a part or just be involved with what's going on with the Panthers?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
They still love you in Charlotte. I was there not too long ago, and it was a soccer game. And I seen people rocking Cam Newton football jerseys to a soccer game. And I'm like, dog, that's crazy. So
Like, that's the when your intentions are pure, sooner or later people will understand. And it happened to me. Me saying like the old saying is, you never know, or you take for granted something that you once had that now you don't have it no more, and then you really appreciate it.
yeah.
My time in Carolina was something that I didn't necessarily take for granted, but I didn't know how good I had it. And now looking back at it, when I look on my comments, when people just send me random just inspirations or like make videos of certain things, it was like, bro, what a time to be alive with Cam Newton.
That's true. And I think now you have time to like let it soak in. Then it was like, yeah, I see it, but I got to go to the next thing. Like, you got to keep every year you got to compete, improve yourself. Because it's like as soon as 1 year go off, it's like they forget.
And then too, like, as an ambassador, I understand what comes with that. I don't want no, we was just doing it for content purposes as far as like a general manager and things like. I don't think my life has that type of flexibility now. But when I do have time, I do want to empower management, do want to empower players. I do want to empower, just staff to say like, hey, as a player, former player, these are the things that we loved. And I can give you some type of insight. Because sometimes as a player, you don't know the logistical part of doing certain things. Like, you just got these ideas and be like, yo, why don't we do this? But as a administrator, you don't know if that's cool or not.
Yeah.
So you'd be like, yo, like, we gonna do this. And then you'd be like, no, bro, that shit lame.
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough to have people who understood my tone, my dialect, my verbiage, my thought process. And when I would tell them, I was like, yo, that like motherfuckers ain't gonna receive that shit like you think it is. But if you do it like this, I think it would be more receivable and it'll be organic. So, of course, like when I see certain titles get handed out, I'm like, that's a no-brainer.
You would do it.
For sure.
And if the opportunity, and I know you said ambassador, but also if the opportunity presented itself, would you want to be a part of like ownership group or ownership of the Panthers?
I don't think I have the time to do it, but I can't say no.
You can't, yeah.
Because I don't know what it
the
would look
future
like.
holds, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because anything in life requires a measure of commitment, mind, body, time, spirit, like all that. And like what I'm doing now, I don't know if flying back and forth to Charlotte would be something that's reasonable. Granted, it's a 45-minute flight.
Yeah.
You spend more time on the ground than in the air.
Yeah.
So it could easily be done, but I don't think that there has ever been a player that can be relatable to both sides in Carolina. You know what I'm saying? I say that respectfully because, you know, the Steve Smiths of the world, the Thomas Davises of the world, all these different players, the Lukes, and, you know, me being the franchise player, I had insight to a lot of things. And not to say that they can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Hell, I want them to be ambassadors too. We all should be ambassadors to give our insight to say like, hey, what would the fan experience be? What should that fan experience be on game day? What should the player experience be on game day? You know, how could you, you know, really give golden nuggets to management to say, hey, this is what we receive to be beneficial to getting our point across to management, to ownership. Because there's obviously sectors and levels to it that all players don't have access like that. Even though you got key card access, you don't got privilege to be able to say, hey, Mr. Tepper, this is how we feel about this whole situation.
Yeah.
And he probably thinks, or somebody in that building probably thinks like, where is the ball being dropped at? And they may not necessarily know, because I know for sure there was times where I gleamed at when I seen Mr. Richardson. Like when I seen Mr. Richardson walk into that locker room, you know, he was only coming to talk to like 4 or 5 players. And me being one of those 4 or 5 players, I know how it made me feel. Where it's like, yo, Mr. Richardson, hey man, meet Joe Webb. Man, Joe Webb, blah, blah, blah. Joe Webb probably would never had an opportunity to kind of speak to Mr. Richardson, but it was my responsibility to merge the gap and say like, yo, bro, this dude really cool, contrary to what you may believe, because it goes both ways. They read things about you that aren't true. You read things about them that aren't true.
That's
and
true.
then we're all wearing the same jersey.
We're just assuming.
Oh, for sure. For sure. So me being an ambassador would be something that I definitely would consider. And to what degree I still would want to have an opportunity to kind of look at it through that lens. But it is what it is. Here we go next year.